Saturday we had a nice scrimmage. Stayed pretty healthy getting through that, so that was obviously always a main concern, that you still hit them, but try to stay healthy. We had some big hits out there as well, but it was a good scrimmage. We got a lot done, and we just try to get 3% better today.
How do you walk that fine line between trying to keep them healthy and getting them ready for the season? James didn't have any carries on Saturday.
Yeah, but we got him the ball.
Oh, okay.
We got him the ball. Did you see receptions or anything?
I just went by the stats.
Oh, you did? No, but he was out there, and you know, there's some guys you need to see, and there's some guys that they've made an impact already, and you try to protect those guys, and then other guys need work. But there's a fine line, but you have to go out and work. It's just like the pros with preseason games. I mean, you guys are going to go out and you got to play, and people pull. I'm sure I didn't watch the game, but I'm sure Ben didn't play the whole time. So you're getting the guys that need to get reps and find out who your two deep are going to be as you go into the season.
Do you feel like you have a good idea of what that two deep is going into the season right now?
I feel like I had a pretty good idea. Yeah, I mean we talked about it before the scrimmage that hey, today's a big day for some of you guys. You twos and threes. Are you going to be there still with the twos, or are you going to be a three, or is the threes going to move up to twos, and what's that going to be all about? So it's important, and they know that. That was the last real live scrimmage because we got after it pretty good.
Did you see the improvement in fine-tuning execution from scrimmage 1 to scrimmage 2 that you'd like?
At some positions, and in some positions you didn't. And that might have been because there was some injuries, or you took some guys out, and who you played. So you have to obviously look at the whole thing: who was in, who was out. But then you had some backups that were playing with the ones, and then you might have had some not so good plays that you'd like to thought with the ones who are out there maybe it would have been better.
Yeah, the positions we always talk about, the boundary safety and the one outside linebacker, are they really the only two at this point that are still kind of up in the air as you look at it?
The boundary safety, I would say, is still up in the air, and they're still fighting at those linebacker spots. I think Freeze has done, Grigsby's done a great job at the star position, and we're looking for still a really good backup there, and we're still a work in progress. And Caprera and Bam are still in a battle into the boundary.
I mean, are those pretty much the only two, though? I mean,
no. I mean, I think their ends are still battling to see who those guys are. I mean, Zach Poker's had a great camp, looking at defense, and then on offense you got battles going on as well. I mean, Jester Wee has done a nice job. He had another good scrimmage, and he's really stepped up and made some big plays, and he's made some major improvements there as well. As we've talked about those young guys.
You found some depth at defensive tackle there, didn't you?
We found some depth. We feel pretty good there. I don't like to talk about the strengths. I like to talk about the weaknesses, I guess. Addressing those.
What are some of the weaknesses?
You didn't ask that question.
Offensive line. I mean, do you feel like you're developing some depth there? Or is that still an area where you're looking for the 6th, 7th guys?
You're definitely developing when you got some guys that are banged up, and which is okay. I mean, that's where those guys get those opportunities. You talk about opportunities. They get an opportunity to go show that, hey, I can do it. And so we're definitely having guys step up there that you can say, hey, he can do it, or he can't do it. We better watch out.
Is anyone that maybe wasn't in the preseason, the top 5 heading into camp, is anyone like, I guess, Brian or Herndon, anyone making a push to get into that group, or do you still?
Brian definitely is. I mean, Brian definitely is. O'Neill's done a nice job, showed great athleticism out there on the field, and he's a guy that's raw right now, that's just going to continue to get better. Comparing him to game 1 to game 6 or 7, I mean, it's going to be but he's really bought in and done a nice job at that tackle position.
Caprera said after Saturday's scrimmage that finishing well is a concern for the defense. How much of a concern is that?
To do what now? Finish what?
Finish well, finish strong. He said that the defense didn't finish very well on Saturday.
Yeah, we had a 2 minute at the end. Defense didn't finish. There's ups and downs in the games, but we had a 2 minute at the end, and defense didn't do as well. Again, find out why. But they finished a lot better than they did the last scrimmage as far as just through the scrimmage. There was breakdowns earlier in the first scrimmage than there was in this one. Then 2 minute, for whatever reason, we had a couple backups in there at that point too, on both sides of the ball. So maybe Coach Jay took advantage of the weakness. I don't know.
Guys still banged up. Is there anyone that at this point that you're starting to get worried about for that Youngstown game that might not be available?
No, nobody really.
Other than Jared?
Except Jared. Yeah. Okay. All right, guys.
Thanks, Pat.
Have a good one.